Hello and welcome. Chris from Missouri here, bringing you another video about vintage baseball cards. In this video, I'm going to show you some cards at a different location. See, my wife and I have been able to combine our two hobbies, mine of collecting cards and hers hobby of hiking and going on trails and seeing new sights. We're combining them, and today we're in the Shawnee National Forest in southern Illinois, or in Illinois, and at the Garden of the Gods. And I took in a small hike with her yesterday, and now she's out on a bigger one. But I wanted to share some cards with you and some thoughts, and maybe you could share your thoughts with me in this. But I really want to know what your thoughts are on getting some cards that have been clearly marked. And I've done that, and I'm going to show you these cards. And I got three separate groups, small groups, and I'm going to show you these cards and see what you think. And I might as well get in and show you right now. But I picked up these cards for a reason. Now I'm going to show them to you and talk at the same time. I picked up these cards for a reason. See, I don't want them in my collection. I don't think I would ever pick up some stuff that I'm able to get that have been marked. And you can see there's clearly an X on this card, and it looks bad. But the card's a nice card, but you know, it's slabbed with a grate on it because that X brings it down. Now, these yellow cards with the X on them, they look terrible, I think. But the reason I got these cards is I'm not putting them in my personal collection. I am going to put them in showcases, take them to shows. And the reason I'm going to do that is there's some kids out there that are getting into vintage baseball cards more and more, and they're learning about it. And this might be a way that they could get an Ernie Banks or a Willie Mays of a good-looking card if they could just look past the X. And this is hard to do, but you know, this Clemente card's not very expensive. And it's a good-looking card if you look past the X. Now, again, I don't know why. I do know why on some things that they were clearly marked. I had a friend who spent a couple weeks with his grandparents back in the day, and his mom or his grandma got tired of them arguing and stuff, so she had them put their initials on the back of the cards so they'll know what cards are theirs. So there's some reasons for it, but I just wish they wouldn't have. Now, those didn't look so good, but now look at this Duke Snider in 1960. You can see that X on there in the top left-hand corner. But the card's beautiful, and if you just need to look past that X. Now here's another 1960 card that's not bad. And you know, they get to pick up a Frank Robinson card if they're learning about Frank Robinson and put that in their collection. Now they may be going after a Carl Yastrzemski run, but they can't afford the 1961. And this is a beautiful looking card, but you see that X in the top left-hand corner. Now, what about this one? Now, this is a shame it has an X on it, but what a beautiful 1956 Roberto Clemente. And listen, sometimes to a 12 to 15-year-old kid, it's those Clemente cards are expensive and they can't afford it, but they can get that one. So now, here's a different thing. What if they're going after a special kind of card? Let's say they're going after a Ted Williams in that 54 set and they really need it. Now this X doesn't look great on the card, but then they can appreciate this card and be able to maybe mark it off that they have it either for the 54 run or the Hall of Fame run, or just wanting a Ted Williams card. You know, what if they wanted a rookie card? And here's Orlando Cepeda rookie, and it's a nice crisp card with an X on it. And can you look past the X? And then what could you imagine some people's excitement if they're able to get a cheap Mickey Mantle? Now this has an X on it, but it's they're able to get it and able to afford it. Now, as you heard me say there, Can you look past that X? And I'm going to use an analogy like this. When I was 16 years old, I wanted a car. I needed a car just to kind of break me away from having to borrow car keys from my parents and that kind of stuff. So I bought me a car, and it cost $100, and it was a car that was stolen, recovered by the police. And let me explain this car to you. It had holes in the floorboard that had rusted out on the passenger seat and the passenger side and the driver's side. It was a 4-speed, and the gear shifter was cut off. I don't know why they did it, but it was cut off. They did not have the key ignition didn't work since they tampered with it to get it started, so it wouldn't run. I had to stick a screwdriver in there to start the car, and the hood wouldn't latch, so I had to rig up something for that. But listen, I wanted a card, and I could afford that car because that car cost me $100, and I bought that car. Why? Because I wanted it. I looked past the holes in the floorboard. I looked past the screwdriver in the ignition switch. I looked past all that because I wanted it. Now these cards can be the same way for some people. If they want this card bad enough, they're able to look past it. Now, again, I don't think now I would want any marked cards, but I got them. I got a Lou Gehrig marked card. It's clearly got a mark by its leg that you can see it, but it's a 1933 Gaudi, and I wanted that card, and I was able to look past that X mark. Now, I'm doing this again, celebrating my 32nd anniversary with my wife, and listen, she had to look past things to say yes to marrying me. And so guys, listen, it's just a hobby. Collect what you like.